So fun because it is our apartment shopping, apartment hunting video. So we spent all day Saturday looking at apartments. We saw 7 different apartments and then like 3 units at each apartment. So I filmed this video. This is now my 3rd time, and the 2nd time that I filmed, it was better, but it was just way too long. So I'm really gonna try to condense it. It's a lot. I took notes, so I've got everything that you guys need to know all written down. I'm gonna show you guys all the footage of each place, the amenities, everything that you need to know, and then I'm going to rank them price-wise. And then I want you guys at the end of the video to comment down below which one you think we're gonna choose to live in. So this day was actually so much fun. I mean, the day's already fun because it's fun being engaged and realizing like, oh my gosh, I'm going to live with you, AKA Sam, my fiance. Like, that's crazy. And so it's kind of fun like going through that together. So we did apartment shop in Atlanta because that is where we will be living. I think we talked about it in our engagement Q&A. We kind of went into more details about that stuff. Before we get started, don't forget to follow my Instagram. I did a Q&A over there while we were apartment shopping, and I answered a lot of your guys' like specific questions on there. So if you don't follow me on there, I tend to be a little bit more like interactive, if that makes sense. So with all that being said, let's get started into today's video. All right, so to start off, we're gonna talk about the things that me and Sam are looking for in an apartment. So since we are renting in a city, it is very expensive. So we definitely wanted to keep it down to as minimal as possible. So we're only going to do a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom. Now I work from home full-time, Sam works from home sometimes, so that's like not the most convenient thing, but it's the cheapest option because anything that's 2 bedrooms is way too expensive, and we don't really want to waste that much money since it is renting. We are city people, we love the city, so we definitely wanted these apartments to be in really good areas. So that is kind of how we narrowed down which apartments to look at. Our requirements, so to say, for what made an apartment good to us, well, at least for me, is the kitchen. You guys know I love my kitchen, so it's really important to me that it is bright and white and happy, and that it's also spacious and not like blocked off, that it's like very open. And then we also said in our bedroom we want to be able to fit a king-size bed comfortably. We also told the apartment people that we wanted to look at rooms that had like 2 bathroom entrances. That way guests like didn't have to go through our bedroom to get to the bathroom, since it is only 1 bath. All of these apartments had pools, valet trash, and they all allowed pets because, as you guys know, me and Sam will be getting a dog. We're really excited about that, so that was really important to us. Let's start off with apartment number 1. So this apartment is in a great part of the city. It's very walkable. You can walk anywhere. There are like so many grocery stores in range of walking, and there's plenty of coffee shops. There's plenty of things to do. It's very city-like. Now, this building is also brand new, which is super, super nice. And we saw 3 units here. So the first unit that you can see is 794 square feet, and this one is furnished. And what is nice about this one is that it actually has a built-in desk. The kitchen is gorgeous. Now, it didn't have a balcony, which was kind of the only downside to this place. So this next unit is the exact same, except it's unfurnished and it has the same deal going on. We love that it has a gas stove, and we also love the black and white details throughout the units. And something else that we love about apartment number 1 is the giant windows. It lets in a ton of light, which is really important for me for YouTube. Just having natural lighting and stuff is so nice. Then the last unit that we saw here is smaller square footage. It's 734 square feet. It doesn't have the built-in desk, but it does have a balcony, which is super nice, which is where you lose the square footage. And the bathroom is also only 1 sink versus the other ones were 2 sinks. All right, so let's talk amenities. So this place actually had some really cool amenities. So the first one that I think I would put to use the most is the fact that it has a coffee shop inside the apartment. So in the lobby, you walk upstairs and there's a coffee shop. And then within the coffee shop, there's actually rooms that you can rent out to work from. Some of them are soundproof. They've got like desks and stuff. And you can also work like out in the lobby, which is really cool. So there's also a work from home area with a full kitchen. There's a fully equipped gym, but we didn't go in to see that. There's also a grilling area, and they've got a pizza oven, which is so unnecessary, but also so cool. They have a sky deck with TVs. They've got a pool, and it's brand new, which is like a huge point. So we'd be the first people living in an apartment if we decided to move in there, which is really nice. Another great thing about this place is that you don't have to pay for parking, which is really rare to find in a city. Normally there's like a monthly fee per car for parking. So I've ranked all these apartments from most expensive to least expensive, and this one is at number 5. So moving on to apartment number 2. This one is in a very similar area to apartment number 1. It's very walkable. You can walk to any grocery store. It's near a park. It's really in an amazing area of the city that me and Sam really love. And we only saw one unit here, and this unit was 682 square feet. Again, this place, white cabinets, gray countertops, really has a good vibe to it. It has a balcony with a view of the pool. It does seem a little bit dark inside, and the room was actually pretty spacious. The windows weren't too small, which was nice. And the bathroom wasn't anything super special. It was okay. It wasn't too small, and it definitely had some storage, but it wasn't anything spectacular. So now onto the amenities for apartment number 2. We didn't even go see the amenities because we were just handed a key and said, here, go look at this one. And we like didn't have anybody giving us a tour or anything, which is fine, but we just didn't even know where the amenities were. But I did look up online, and they said that the amenities that they have is a pool, a club room, a sky deck, and a fire pit. Now I know that they have a parking fee, but I don't remember how much it was. And guys, guess what? This apartment was the most expensive one we looked at. And you guys will see that with the next ones, you're gonna be like, what? Why? And I think it's just because of the location, I guess. I'm really not sure. Okay guys, so now onto apartment number 3. So this apartment was in an area that me and Sam actually don't know too well. It was a very walkable area though. There was a Publix right across the street. There was even an Orange Theory right across the street, which you guys know I love Orange Theory, so that would be pretty cool. There was a Chick-fil-A down the road, so it was a very walkable area, but it was far from the rest of the city, if that makes sense. Like, it's still in the city, but it's pretty far from like Midtown and downtown and stuff like that. So that is something to consider with this place. We saw 2 units here, one furnished, one unfurnished. And the first unit that we saw is 726 square feet. So as you can see, the kitchen is beautiful. It's got dark cabinets with white on top. Now, it's not my preference. If I had to choose, I'm like, why can't you just make it all white? But I don't hate it, if that makes sense. So it was still really pretty. I loved the dark appliances in this place. It was super nice. And it did have 2 sinks, which is really, really great for a 1-bedroom. And it also had a balcony with large windows, which we loved. And another cool thing to note is that you could actually paint at this place. You could also paint at apartment number 1. I forgot to mention that, but they said you can paint whatever you want to do. It's your home. So the next unit that we saw is unfurnished. It's 716 square feet. It doesn't have the double sink. But here's the weird thing. For being smaller square footage, the living room is bigger because I think they took it out of the bathroom and out of the bedroom because the bathroom in the first unit was huge. It was literally huge. It's hard to tell on camera, but it was so big, and it was like unnecessary space to me and Sam. So we would definitely go with the smaller unit, smaller square footage, because it's got a bigger living space, which is great. And the view from this place is so pretty. All right, so now let's talk amenities of apartment number 3. This one had a lot of really great amenities for people that work from home, hence me and Sam, which was really appealing. They had a ton of space to work. They had office spaces. They had a space that kind of looks like a coffee shop. And what was cool is that each building had its own courtyard, its own pool, its own workspace. So that was nice because you wouldn't have to cross the street to go to one or the other. And clearly it's got a pool and all of that. So the nice thing is that this place is literally brand new. So again, we would be the first people to live there, which is pretty cool. Now, the only downside about this place is that it's $25 per month per car for parking. So that's $50 a month added on top of your rent, which is not our favorite part of things, but again, that's totally normal. So overall, cost-wise, this was actually the least expensive apartment we saw. I think it's because of the location. It's a new up-and-coming location, so it's not as desired as all the other ones. All right, so moving on to apartment number 4. This one, me and Sam walked in the apartment building. We were like, should we be here? Like, can we afford this? It was the bougiest apartment we've ever been to. So this apartment is smack dab in the middle of Midtown. It's in a great area. It's definitely like the city life, if that makes sense, and it is really pretty. We only saw one unit here, and I need to mention that this unit is not even the version of the one that we would be renting. They didn't have one available to show us of the one that we would be renting because somebody was currently living in it, and they didn't have any other ones available. So we were just kind of having to get a feel for the place and if we liked it, which I was not a fan that we wouldn't see the one that we would be renting, but he did say it was very similar. This unit that we viewed is 608 square feet. It has huge windows, a beautiful kitchen, and the space is pretty small, but for the size, it actually seems kind of spacious, and I think it's the way that they set it up was really good. And the balcony definitely makes you feel like you are in a city. The bathroom only has one sink. It is a little tight compared to all the other ones that we've seen, and same with the bedroom. It's a little small, but we're okay with that because we don't want to have to fill it with a ton of furniture and stuff, and we love how big the windows are. Now let's talk amenities of this place. You guys will see how bougie this place is. I mean, it was so nice. We still were like, are you sure we can afford this? Like that this is in our budget? You would think that this was the most expensive one, but it wasn't. You walk out at the pool, oh my goodness, and you've got this beautiful view of the city. It is so pretty. I'm sure sunsets there are so nice. And then on the other side of that sky deck, if you walk around, you can see Piedmont Park, which is really cool. So they've got a fully equipped gym, all the things that you could need. And they also had a workspace that was like right near the pool, so it had that same view. Now the major downside of this place is that it would be $50 per car per month for parking, which is $100 more added on top of your rent, which adds up over time. But again, that's very normal in a city. Guys, believe it or not, on the pricing list, this one is the 4th most expensive, which is crazy to me. You would think that this would be number 1. So moving on to apartment number 5. This apartment was in an area that we are pretty familiar with. It's walkable, so to say. Like I could walk our dog and I could walk to like go get food, but there's not really a grocery store nearby. We saw 2 units here, but they're pretty much the exact same, and Sam filmed this one, and can I just say he did a way better job than I ever did with filming. I was just like really distracted, and I guess I just like was looking at everything and not looking at what I was filming, so I'm sorry. I'm aware my footage is really not that good, so sorry about that. So the first apartment that we saw is 770 square feet, and this one has the white cabinets with the gray like wood tone cabinets. Definitely not my favorite. Like I actually would say I don't like it, but the countertops were gorgeous. It had a waterfall island, which was really nice. It was very spacious, huge windows. The room was really big. And something to note that I thought was really cool was that the washer and dryer was in the closet. A couple of places that we viewed had this, and I was like, that's actually brilliant. Like you can just take off your clothes and throw it in the dirty laundry. That's pretty cool. That seems very nice. I need that because my clothes are always on my bathroom floor or my closet floor. It's pretty bad. And the bathroom was only 1 sink, but it was pretty spacious, which was nice. And then the next unit that we saw was the exact same, but with all white cabinets, literally nothing different about it. And I don't even know why they showed us this unit because they had none available for us to rent, and that would be the one I would want to rent. The amenities for apartment number 5, they had a pool and they had this little golf area, which I guess seems kind of cool. I wouldn't use it, but Sam might. They had grills, a club room, and a gym. Pretty typical. Now, again, parking was $50 per car per month, which is $100 added onto the rent, which is a major downside. So pricing wise, this apartment was the 3rd most expensive. Okay, moving along to apartment number 6. This one was actually made by the same builder as apartment number 1, so you will really get to feel those similar vibes going on. So something to note about apartment number 6 was that it wasn't really as much in the city. It's still considered in the city, but it's definitely further removed from anything in the city, but it's still a walkable area. You could still walk to a grocery store. There's like a smoothie place nearby. So it's walkable, but it's further from the things that me and Sam love in the city, so that's something to note. We toured 3 units here, and the first unit was 747 square feet. The kitchen is gorgeous, all white cabinets, black countertop, and this one didn't have gas stoves like the other one, apartment number 1, which me and Sam really wanted a gas stove. It's not a make or break thing, but it's definitely something that we considered. But it was definitely a spacious living room, balcony, and bedroom. In the bathroom, there was only 1 sink, and this place is literally brand new. They had just opened that building, so there's all new appliances and stuff like that. And the second unit we saw was 764 square feet. Now this one had white cabinets on top and gray cabinets on the bottom, which I didn't hate. I prefer the all white cabinets, but this one does have a gas stove, which was really nice. And this one only had 1 sink as well, and it had a balcony, and the countertops were actually different in this one. So moving on to the third one, it was 747 square feet. This is the exact same as the first one, except it had high ceilings, like really high ceilings. So there was a ton of natural light. There was plenty of natural light in the first and second one, but this one, it was like, what? It was amazing. It made it feel so much bigger. It did have the white cabinets on top and gray on the bottom, but other than that, it was the exact same as the first unit, just with high ceilings. Moving on to the amenities of apartment number 6. I would say the best amenity was that it had office spaces that you could rent out that are just like the one in apartment number 1, that are your own space, they're your own thing. If we were to live there, that'd be a great place for me to set up and film or do anything like that. I think it'd be really great. And apparently out of all the gyms that Sam saw, he said this was the best one. They had a ton of equipment, and they also had Peloton bikes, and they also had that one mirror that like tells you what to do and stuff. I don't really know much about it, but they had that. They had the Tide lockers, they had a pool, and something to note was that this place was also brand new, so we would be the first people living there. Now, the only downside was that this one did have $25 per car per month for parking, which would add $50 on top of our rent. Cost-wise, this apartment was actually at number 6, so it was a really low price. Surprisingly, it wasn't the cheapest. I would think it would be because of the location, but the aesthetic was gorgeous, so I get it. The last place is apartment number 7. This apartment was in an area that is still walkable, but I wouldn't walk anywhere. Like, there was a Trader Joe's probably less than half a mile away, but who wants to walk your groceries less than half a mile? Not me, so I would just drive there. And something else to note about this place, which will make sense when you see it, is that they said their goal was to make it feel like you were in a hotel. Oh gosh, that scared me. Oh my goodness. Anyway, so since that was their goal, they definitely pulled that off, so much so that they even had a concierge for like the renters, which to me is pretty crazy. So we saw 3 units at this place, and the vibe of this place is a little bit different than any of the other ones we've seen. So when you walk in, you see all the dark cabinets. Every unit had dark cabinets with gorgeous white countertops. All of them had really big windows and a great sized room. So this first unit is actually 912 square feet. It's huge. It had a balcony, and the downside to this is that it only had 1 sink, which was really surprising to me. So the next unit is 752 square feet. It pretty much looks the same, like aesthetic wise, but it did have some built-in shelves, which was nice. And then the third place that we saw was 855 square feet. It had really high ceilings, all of them did. So they look very similar. The only thing that's really different is the setup and then like the square footage. And the kitchen was always super nice. Every kitchen had a wine fridge, which I guess makes sense for like the hotel vibe feel. Interesting. Now let's talk amenities. So this place actually probably had the coolest amenity. You'll see what I'm talking about. So whenever you walk in, there's actually an area called the library, and it's so cool. It has like a Starbucks coffee machine, and it literally feels like a library. And then you look upstairs, and you can go upstairs, and where Sam is walking, guess what it leads to? A movie theater. This place has a movie theater inside, which is so cool. So that was a really cool amenity. Me and Sam love the movies, and that just seems like the coolest thing ever. So they also had a sky deck, and on that sky deck was also a little dog park, which was really cool. And they had plenty of spots to hang out with friends and family. They even had like full kitchens in those spots so you could like host things. They also had a really big fitness gym as well. So out of all the apartments, that one was actually the second to most expensive one. Okay guys, those are all the apartments that we saw. I tried so hard to condense all of this into one video. It's a lot. I probably should have done like part 1 and part 2, but it's okay. So don't forget to comment down below which one you think we will be choosing, and when we do, don't worry, we will give you a full empty apartment tour, all the stuff, all the videos about decorating. It will be super fun whenever we do that, so be sure to stick around to see more of those videos. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.